Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and I got a important video for you all today that you should really write this down because this is an important thing. So mangoes are here. It is mango season. This is a lemon meringue tree and the tree is loaded. And I want to talk to you today, and this one's my cherry tree over here, but I want to talk to you today about fruit drop and making sure you get the most fruit as possible because we had a lot of fruit blow off the tree recently because of winds, high winds, but you don't really have control over high winds, but there's some things you can do to make sure that fruit tree doesn't drop. Now I have a whole bunch of mango trees here in this yard and I don't have them on water. I have water under them, but I stopped watering them. Most of the year I don't water them. But I have another yard where I don't have the option for water because I don't have a well there yet, which I just put in. So I'm going to have water there soon. The reason why I decided to get water was I consulted with Alex at Tropical Acres Farms, who is the mango master. He knows all about these trees and everything else. I said, am I going to get more mangoes on my tree if I water them? He said, no, but you will lose more mangoes if you don't water them. So what he means is most of the year he didn't water his trees or doesn't. But when it comes time where they start developing a little fruit, and I'll show you next door a tree that's just starting a little fruit, that's the time you want to turn on the water. If you turn it on 2 or 3, or the more you turn it on at that point, the better it might be, because even though the tree can grow and grow fruit without water, mango trees grow like weeds here in South Florida, they still get stressed out when there's a drought. And just recently it started raining here a lot, but before that we didn't have much rain. So if you had trees that didn't have water when they started to develop the fruit, there's a good chance the tree would get stressed out and you would lose a good amount of that fruit. But if you were watering the trees, the fruit would have stayed on. So in this yard, I watered all the trees. Besides the fruit that fell off from the wind, I didn't have as much fruit dropping as I did next door where there's no water. So I want to say that again. Don't water the mango trees, once they're established. You want to water them until they're established. Once they're established, you can stop watering them most of the year. But right at the end of the drought period here, at least in South Florida, that's when the flowers start, and that's when you start getting the little fruit set on them. That's when you want to turn on the water. Now, you don't want to keep the water on for a long time, maybe 6 to 8 weeks. Keep the water on and while they're setting, and then when they're this size or even a little bit smaller than this, they're pretty much mature enough, the tree's strong enough, they're going to stay and they're going to be fine. But when they're smaller and they're just growing, there's a good chance they'll fall off because they're not fully developed or not even near half developed yet. So start turning on the water when you see that little fruit, and turn it off when after about 6 or 8 weeks. Now if you keep it on too long, 2 things may happen. One thing that could happen is when it rains a lot at a certain time for mangoes, even if it's the best tasting mango, it will not taste as good. It loses flavor if there's too much rain or too much water. So if you leave the water on too long, that's why I say, or maybe 6 to 8 weeks, that's what Alex suggests, because if you leave it on too long, then you might start mimicking high rains and start messing with the fruit. Also, some trees, I know definitely with my jackfruit trees, but some varieties of mangoes tend to split if the water's too much as well. But that really depends on the variety as well as putting on too much or too little water. So it's a good idea to get on a good system. If you don't have a well, make sure you hand water those trees when the fruit is setting. Another thing to prevent fruit drop, which Alex at Tropical Acres Farms told me, was the nutrition on the trees, whether the roots or nutrition on the trees and everything else. So you want to spray your trees, number one, to help the all of the diseases that are out there and things like that, especially sooty mold and things like that. That'll cause fruit to drop as well. So you want to get in a good program where you know how to spray and what to spray. And I'll be making more videos with that in the future. So that's important, but also the nutrition of your trees. How strong are your trees? You want to keep the tree from getting stressed. That's the issue, is when a tree gets stressed. So I just started spraying my trees. I'm actually going to do an application tomorrow maybe with moringa leaf extract that I'm experimenting with. I'm going to spray the trees and the leaves and everything, and that's going to be really cool. But you want to make sure that you're giving the new trees some sort of nutrition and keeping them healthy. So I will talk to Alex at Tropical Acres Farms more about these questions if you post them below if you have questions. But I want to go next door. So I have 3 different stages of mango growth. I have 3 trees here. I have a cherry tree and I have 2 lemon meringue trees. These are my oldest trees. They're about 7 or 8 years old. They're loaded. The cherry, it was not looking too great, but now it says loaded. The cherry's loaded. The lemon meringues, I got 2 lemon meringues and absolutely loaded. And then I got some other trees like an orange sherbet. I got a lemon zest, sweet tart. Those are loaded as well. I'll show you here. So here's my lemon zest. I mean, this is my orange sherbet loaded. So this one is not as old as the other ones. This one might be maybe 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old. And then learning, and I'll show you my lemon zest, but learning when to put the water on and off, it does make a difference. So we had high winds recently and a big branch came off my sweet tart, but I still got a good amount on there. But my lemon zest is looking great. Almost ready. But I want to show you some of my younger trees and show you some of the fruit that's on there. Okay, here I am in this yard here, and these younger trees, there's no mangoes on any of them except good old faithful Rosy Gold. So Rosy Gold is holding on to some good fruit. Now these trees didn't get any water at all, and that one's flushing. That's a test pollock. There's a honey kiss. So these didn't get water, but we're gonna go to the other side here and see. This is a very interesting year because our peach cobbler is actually flowering right now. Yeah, our peach cobbler is flowering right now. So that would be a great time to get water on these trees. You see the fruit is starting to set. So I'm going to start watering this tree. So, and there we have some flowers that are just opening. That'd be a good time maybe to water and spray the tree possibly. But the peach cobbler's looking really nice. And all the other trees here, I got a big mulch pile. All the other trees here, and that's if you don't have water, get mulch. And that's the next best thing. Mulch is good even if you have water. But so here's my Namduk Ma. I have one nice fruit there. Orange essence is looking really nice. This was a recent transplant. This tree was a transplant. That's a step mango. And there were 2 on there, but when the guy was putting in the mulch, he knocked one down. But there's a step mango. Oh, and check this out, everybody. Here's a well. I just got a well put in. I'm really excited. I just got a well put in, and I'm getting the pump hooked up in the next few days. So that's exciting. So coming over here, my dot mangoes are looking nice. Well, that one's pina colada. That one's the dot. So there's several hanging on there. And I got a bunch on the Beverly. So I'm looking forward to that. Fairchild's looking great. So excited. I got 1 fruit on my white curry. But look at this. Super Alfonso. A good amount of fruit on there. And it looks like they're almost ready. That's nice. I got 1 buttercream. I got 2 Edward. It's nice. I'm excited here. Got some guava mango, some grams, good amount on gram. I like gram. And then you see new growth. This is a Glen, and there's new growth now. Normally I wouldn't prefer new growth at this time, but there weren't any mangoes on it to begin with. And that's another tip somebody recently told me. If there's no mangoes and the tree was bigger, now's not a bad time to start pruning them for the next season. Look at the cotton candy. Look at all those on cotton candy. All right, so look at my neighbor's tree now. That's my neighbor's Namduk Mai. Loaded. Loaded. And I made another video about it. If it's on your side, then it's yours. But my neighbor and I trade fruit all the time anyway. But yeah, they're totally on my side. But it's loaded. And I just saw this. Wow, this just happened today. Look at this. This is a Carla tree. And look at that growth. Wow. It really took off in the last couple of days from all this rain. And even my ST Maui, my little ST Maui is like growing. That's so exciting. Yeah, so there's the ice cream. Even my Ceci Love is looking really nice. Go ahead and show you some of my neighbor's trees. And this is another transplant. This was my Pineapple Pleasure. And this is getting some growth on it as well. Really nice. Now my neighbor put his trees on the same time when I first moved in, about 8 years ago. So we're gonna go look at his now. Well, he has several trees, but look at this little gem. Loaded, loaded. Okay. He has a Namduk Mai over there, but I want to go in the back and show you his lemon zest and his Valkyrie and his cotton candy. So here's his cherry tree. Looking nice. He cut it back last year. Here's cotton candy, and this is an interesting one because he had a big coconut tree here, and as soon as he cut that, this took off. You know, so some of the shade will affect the growth of the tree. Alrighty, here's an orange sherbet he has. Really nice. Love these. I'm gonna go in the back here. So here's a multigraph tree he has. This is a Valkyrie, but he has a variety that he found called Captain Ram. And maybe we'll do a review of that this year. But that's looking nice. Tree's always loaded. All right, so we're gonna go in the back here amongst all his trees. Look at that. This was a wild mango tree that wasn't good, and he cut out the stump and he put on lemon zest, and lemon zest took off. So good. And he also has lemon meringue on here as well. So these trees are rocking. And then he has one up over there, a coconut cream, that's looking great as well. All right, everybody, so that is the story with the mangoes. You want to just keep that in mind of when you water and so on. Now here's our 2 mango trees that were dwarf trees planted at the same time. That's a Pickering, and it's doing great. And by the way, I just shut the water on these trees because they're big enough size now, but I had turned them on when they started developing a little fruit. And this one is called the Flan. It's like a Thai mango. It's amazing. Like a thunder. They call it a thunders as nicknames. When you eat it, it sounds like thunder. And here is Cogsol. This is one that I was considering possibly getting rid of or top working because the spotter was in. But then I said, I'll just keep it and I'll top work it. So I'll figure that out. But it's always the when I first get on. But I did put a graft on here recently. Let me see if it takes. Nope, not yet. I put an ice cream graft on there. So, well, there you have it, everybody. Everything else is looking good. I just ate my first my first star apple off the tree. This one's not quite ready yet, but it will be soon. There were like 3 on here, and I just had my first one, and it was. I've been down to Laura Farms, and I had some amazing star apples. And like Julian says, you know, if you get the right one, you hit the star apple lottery. And this one wasn't a seedling; it was a graft of a green one, and it was. I couldn't have asked for a better fruit. It was great. All right, so let me know what you learned about watering. These are just some of the things I learned. I'll put the link to Alex at Tropical Acres below because I learned a lot of this from him. And I'll be back there making some videos soon of all the mango trees that are going there. And be ready because mango season is opening very shortly. He told me today he was expecting originally to open maybe the last week of May, but he's got tons of mangoes ready, so he's going to most likely be opening sooner for orders. For people to come and buy locally. So really excited about that. And everybody, thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. I got some really great videos real soon of places that I've been to recently. Until then, everybody, have a great day and keep growing.